Let's Make Big Moves was one of the craziest starts of the year Smash has ever seen. This was a tournament where big names had to fight for 33rd place. This was a tournament where MKLeo wasn't the #1 seed. This was a tournament where Da Buzz didn't make top 8. That's when you know it was fucked. Maybe this weekend you were flying back to college. You were burnt out after watching Umebura SP9, or you watched and you're just here to relive the moments. Whatever the case may be, I'll bring you all of the best moments. Welcome to the Let's Make Big Moves 2023 Tournament Recap. First, I want to start off with the section I call Hot Set Alert. If you missed the entirety of the weekend and you want to watch some fantastic spoiler-free Smash, these are the sets to watch. The ones in red were on the quad stream and I'm unsure if they'll go up, but definitely check them out when they're available. Just make sure to come watch the rest of this video after you're done with that. Now, going into the tournament, there was one big question. Who's the greatest player in the world? Is it Spargo, Tweek, or MKLeo? And if we're going off this result, it's definitely Tweek. For the third time in a row, Let's Make Big Moves was successfully defended by Tri-State. It was a bit scary going into Grand Finals, with a repeat matchup against Spargo that's happened at the last 3 tournaments the two of them have entered. But finally, after a heart-stopping 5-game set, Tweek dominated Spargo with a never-ending ledge trap that proved he knew exactly what his opponent wanted to do. Diddy struggles with disjoints and getting in on a character like Cloud. But if the monkey is where you want to be before you yourself are, it leads to fantastic results. Tweek's solo Diddy played faster than it ever had before, and that showed especially in his match against Riddles. Ever since Kazuya came to the picture, Tweek hasn't won a set against a Canadian, but here he took down Riddles in 4 lightning-quick games. The Diddy was able to squeeze more damage out of each banana throw, exploit Kazuya's incredibly weak disadvantage, and make sure his opponent started each stock at 50%. For the longest time, people said Tweek was in a slump, with placements like 4th, 7th, and 13th. Oh god, how terrible. However, now Tweek is fully in his pre-quarantine form with his post-quarantine character. If Tweek continues this performance, we might have the first time where 2 players sit above MKLeo in the rankings, because runner-up Spargo had a lot to say. Ever since he's returned from his break from the game, the Spargo storm has been approaching. He got 7th at Summit 5, 4th at Ludwig's Invitational, and 1st at back-to-back tournaments Main Stage and Scuffed World Tour. His reign seemed to be ended by Tweek, but that does not tell the whole story. Other than against the winner of the tournament, Spargo didn't play any Game 5s. Keep in mind, this whole tournament was best of 5, so that's an even more impressive metric than you already thought. His Cloud plays the spacing game better than everyone not named MKLeo. And even if the character has a weak recovery on paper, somehow Spargo uses his sheer willpower to make it back on stage. Spargo will not take this loss sitting down. He's gonna grind. He's gonna back air, and he's going to gun for that #1 position as long as it's open. That leaves us with the 3rd place finisher. MK Sonics? Yup, the most impressive run of the tournament doesn't belong to the champion or the runner-up, but rather the 3rd place Sonics. After being sent to the losers bracket right before top 16 by Big Boss, Sonic speed ran his way through the bracket to surpass his seed. He had a 4-game set with Quick, which I swear isn't a pun, and then he proceeded to absolutely demolish his next 3 opponents, Kronos, Cosmos, and Riddles. He rounded off his run by timing out Gluto and putting a stop to MKLeo. He only got stopped by Spargo in losers finals. Sonics proved again with LMBM that he is one of the most resilient players this game has ever seen. Even when he went down, he never stopped fighting, living over 120% against Pyra for over a minute and being literal pixels off from making the most hype comeback of the tournament. Not only did he play more sets than any other player at the venue, not only did he beat the first and third best players in the world on the some random ranking, but he also does it with the whole crowd against him simply for the fact that he plays Sonic. Say all you want about camping, but my advice to you is you better start enjoying it, because I can guarantee Sonic's is gonna be showing up in more top 8s. To think I'd be talking about the return of MKLeo's Joker as the 4th most important thing to happen at this tournament. After allegedly being higher than a kite at Scuffed World Tour, the rest of the world got a taste of what DeBuzz has nightmares about as MKLeo played majority Joker for the first time in years. It was just as smooth as we remembered, with gun confirms and drag downs peppering the screen. And once Arsene came out, it was a whole new game, with most opponents looking down in fear as they clung to the Angel platform. Now, that's not to say his other characters weren't making appearances too. There were some dabbles of Marth and Pythra against Cosmos and Sonics respectively. MKLeo is still the overall GOAT of Smash Ultimate because, come on, it's Leo. But right now, he's gonna have to step it up if he wants to meet the consistency of Tweek and Spargo. The fact that we're even worried just 2 tournaments after he legitimately beat the shit out of everyone is a testament on how the community expects perfection from MKLeo. After all, for years, perfection is all he gave us. 5th place finishers Light and Gluttony have nothing to complain about. The two of them played an intense 5-game set to make it into winner's side top 8, with Gluto literally shitting on the Fox to secure his placement. Gluto's wafts in general were a bit questionable this tournament. He missed a few confirms and threw out a lot more raw wafts that accomplished nothing except, I guess, making the air smell bad. When he really needed them though, they came through. Just look at this absolute robbery he performed on Teal Day to win one of the closest sets of the tournament. Teal Day didn't jump, or attack, or press any button. This waft shield poked. They had to be playing in the French dimension or some shit, I don't know. Light, after being sent to losers by this robbing menace, kicked DeBuzz's teeth in for even attempting to bust out the pit, smashed Big Boss's incredible run, and fell to MKLeo. Light is one of the best in America, and he plays like it. His extreme rushdown style with Fox overwhelms most players who've never experienced it. And he's proved matchups like Game & Watch and Steve are possible. It'll be an interesting power struggle between him and Tweek to see who stays on top in the States throughout the year. The last of the top 8ers, Riddles and Big Boss, showed different levels of achievement. For Riddles, this was just another day in the office. In another tournament where these 3 monsters weren't sending down hordes of players into losers only to meet the meat grinder known as Sonics, he might have gotten a better placement. Riddles has improved so much that top 8 is just expected of him. It is interesting to note though that most of his games were blowouts in the winning or losing direction. The only exceptions to this rule being Tweek dropping a game on his win and Riddles losing one game to Philly hero main Silvio. To me, that just shows how volatile a character like Kazuya is, and also how players at the top level have exposed the weaknesses of the demon. Big Boss, on the other hand, had one of the most impressive runs of his career. On his way to 7th, he stopped Red Oolong, Cola, Sonics, and beat Anathema in the Ditto, losing to only top 10 players Spargo and Light. Big Boss has made it to major top 8s before, however this time he defeated players while being 3 times their seed. I would say I hope to see more of Big Boss in top 8, but that's just praying for more Rob, and I think he has enough representation. Other notable runs included Colorado Snake main Kronos, who after falling to losers took out notable names Meister, Leon, and Zamba. This gives him an SPF of 30, protecting him very nicely from the sun. He was put into the Sonics meat grinder when he reached top 16. Riku, the South Florida man Riku, the Steve player, was the 83rd seed, and he was able to place 13th, Steving all over Epic Gabriel, Quandale Dinglingleton, and Shattuck, sadly getting team killed by fellow Florida player Anathema. Speaking of Shattuck, the combination of him and Advanced PV took out the number 6 seed of the tournament, Onin. I'm sure Onin will be back to open Pokemon cards in due time, but with Jake getting edged out by Jen, there were no Steves in top 8. It seems like the matchup has been figured out to a degree, so could this mean the fall of Steve at the top? Nah, I'm just kidding. Akala just won Umabura SP9 in Japan and it wasn't even fucking close. Genesis 9 is right around the corner, and with all 4 contenders for the best of the world attending, whoever wins will definitely hold that title. I might cover that one too, depending on how well this video does. If you like this type of content, give me a like and remember to subscribe. It lets me know if I should continue doing what I'm doing. Bye!